Let's get started. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Power of Your Credential information session today. Today's session focuses on the fundraising management program, postgrad program. My name is, if this will actually move, my name is Risha Tony. I am the recruitment coordinator in student mobility and transfer, and I will be your host this afternoon. We also have Alicia, who's going to be talking about admissions. We have Jenny Tegan, who is going to be helping in the chat. We have Michelle, who's also going to be here, sort of learning about the program, but Humber staff, and Samantha Jones, who is the program coordinator for the program as well. So we have a great session in store for you. And this is the agenda for today. Please stay until the end of the Q&A. I find that this is where like the really good questions come out, like it gives you an opportunity to ask any questions, but also hear questions that you might not have even thought of. So great opportunity to get those questions answered and to see if this program is a good fit for you. So let's get into it. So Humber's located within the traditional and treaty lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit. Known as the Etobicoke, the place of the alders in Mississaugan language, the region is uniquely situated along the Humber Rivershed, historically provided an integral connection for Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Wyandot peoples between the Ontario Lakeshore and the Lake Simcoe Georgian Bay regions. Now home to people of numerous nations, Etobicoke continues to provide a vital source of interconnection for all. So let's get started and talk a little bit about Humber. So at Humber, we have over 33,000 full-time students across 2 campuses. We have over 200 plus programs for students to choose from, and we offer students a polytechnic education. So this approach gives students the ability to unleash their innovative and entrepreneurial thinking, and also prepare students for the careers of today and tomorrow. So some quick facts about Humber, and also most specifically about Humber grad certificates. So 95% of Humber graduates would recommend Humber to someone else. And I think, going out recruiting, you would see a student come up and then they'll tell you that their parents have gone to Humber, or a parent will come up and they'll be like, I went to Humber, and it almost becomes a family affair. So it's a great school. I think we've grown because of word of mouth and the quality of education we offer, and I think that shows in our numbers and also in surveys like these. We have a 94.1% employer satisfaction rate for the graduate certificates, meaning when we send students off to do their work placements, employers are satisfied with the work that students are doing. 88.3% of Humber graduate certificates are students or graduates are employed within 6 months after graduation, which for the grad certificates, that's the main reason why students are coming into the programs, right? It's to get the necessary skills they need to get out and start working right away. 80 plus pathways from Ontario graduate certificates to master's programs at partner institutions. So this is also important. So it's not that, okay, well, I've come to Humber, I've completed this program. And for most people, they want to come, they want to get the skills to start working, and that's it. But what about the future? What if you wanted to continue? The options are there, so that's good to know. And then there's just 79% of our programs offer work placement, cooperative internship. So these are our programs, or credentials, I should say. So Ontario graduate certificates, which we're going to be talking about today, but we have degrees, diplomas, advanced diploma certificates, apprenticeships, continuing education. So almost any type of learning you want to do, whether it's full-time, part-time, longer term, shorter term, we have programs available or courses available for you. So these are the program areas of interest across Humber. So many different areas of interest. You can almost find a program in almost in any area. But obviously today we're going to be talking about fundraising management, and this program, it's a hidden gem. It's one of those programs where it's such a great industry is such a great field and not enough people know about it. Not enough people know about this field. So I'm so happy to be introducing Samantha, who would then introduce herself and give you more information about this program. That, as I said, is that I consider it to be a hidden gem. Hi, Samantha.
Hi, Risha, and thank you all for joining us today. I'm really excited to be sharing a few highlights about the program. The program has actually gone through a whole redevelopment over the past year. And we're relaunching this September with a refreshed curriculum, and I'm really excited about the program and the future of the program. So, and thank you again, Risha, Alicia, and others who have put on these sessions. They've been wonderful and a great space for us to talk about the revised fundraising program. Sorry, I just fast forwarded there. So I just wanted to, give you a little bit of an outline of what I'll talk about today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the fundraising profession, a bit about the postgraduate program and what the year will look like for those of you interested and who are accepted into the program. We were going to have an alumni join us, but Madeline isn't joining us today. I do have a story to share with her, share about her experience, but she's working, and in fundraising you have to be very deadline oriented, and so she couldn't attend, but she did come to one of our prior sessions, so I'll share a little bit about her experience. I'm going to talk a little bit about the type of opportunities that you have coming out of the program and the kind of workplaces that that students and alumni end up working in, because ultimately I'm sure that is many of your goals. And then I'm going to turn it over to Alicia, who will talk about how to apply and also provide our contact information for further discussion if you want to have a one-on-one. So, working in this sector is wonderful. The majority of our alumni go on to work at charities, and the nonprofit sector is really a phenomenal place to work. I spent the bulk of my career before becoming a full-time teacher working in the charitable sector at organizations like the Canadian Breast Cancer Foundation, York University, Kids Help Phone, Pathways to Education, and others. And I also taught part-time for many years, and then kind of landed here at Humber, where I'm now working full-time running the fundraising program. And it really is a wonderful space to build a career in. You get a chance to combine, I would say, your interest in perhaps bettering the world, combine your passions for the social sector, whether that's in healthcare, whether that's in education, whether that's in social services, with the business skills necessary to be successful. And so it really is a fabulous and growing career opportunity for people. So the fundraising program is part of the Faculty of Business at Humber. The Faculty of Business is, I believe it's the largest faculty within the college, and hosts over 50 programs annually. There's a growing Center for Entrepreneurship, which is managed within the faculty, which we're partnering with and talking about how we can have some of the entrepreneurial sessions and speakers come and be a part of our fundraising program. And as Risha already mentioned, the program does feature a work placement component where students get hands-on experience working with an organization before they graduate. So why become a fundraiser? In Canada, we have a very thriving nonprofit and charitable sector. And so the statistics I'm most familiar with are Canadian, so I'll just share that with you. But, we have many students who have come and taken this program who also want to use their skills globally. And I think in Canada, the experiences you get can be taken to other parts of the world, and there are definitely learnings in the program that have an international impact, but my familiarity is with the industry here in Canada. So, as I mentioned, most of our graduates do move on to careers in the charitable sector. And it does really give people an opportunity to combine their passions with their business skills and to make an impact. Canadians are a generous population, and fundraisers are part of making that giving possible. A lot of the roles in fundraising aren't necessarily what you'd expect. There are a lot of event fundraisers. There are also annual giving fundraisers who work on marketing campaigns designed to encourage people to donate. There are also major gift fundraisers who work with major philanthropists to help combine their philanthropic goals with needs in the community, as well as fundraisers who specialize in areas like gift planning or estate giving. So those jobs aren't as well known perhaps to people who are thinking about the profession, but there are a lot of interesting subsets and areas where fundraising skills can be used. Job satisfaction is very high in and amongst the fundraising community. And compensation is also, I think, higher than people imagine. In 2017, the Association of Fundraising Professionals conducted a compensation report, and more than 441 Canadian respondents participated in that. And what it surfaced is that 50% of participants earn between $58,000 and $100,000 a year, and 25% of respondents earned over $100,000 a year. So I'm not saying that this is a profession that you should join because the salaries are huge, but the salaries, I think, are sometimes more than people anticipate. A lot of people think that if you're working for a charity, you're going to be doing that work on a volunteer basis. But professional fundraising is a growing profession, and organizations will compensate for skills in this industry. So a few other industry facts, and again, this is very Canadian focused, but we have the second largest charitable and nonprofit sector in the world. Our sector, the nonprofit sector, employs more than 2 million Canadians at more than 170,000 nonprofits and charities, and about half of those 170,000 are charitable organizations. So they are they have a function likely of collecting and receiving charitable donations from the Canadian public. And this is a bit of a dated statistic, but as anybody in our program learns, some of the statistics take time to calculate. But in 2014, about $18.5 billion was given by Canadians to the charitable sector. So it's not a small industry in Canada. It makes a huge contribution to the Canadian economy, and it's more, again, than I think what the average Canadian necessarily thinks. So don't just take, give. I think a profession, exploring fundraising as a profession really gives you the opportunity to participate in philanthropy and participate in this industry, which again allows you to combine your passion for causes and to make the world a better place, as well as your business skills, and to build a career that can be very exciting. So the Fundraising Management Graduate Certificate Program really prepares you for careers in this world, and it positions you well to provide a positive contribution. You'll be a part of an industry that's innovative and is recognized. The program does give students many hands-on experiences in the common methods that nonprofits and charities use to maintain relationships and grow relationships with their communities of support. And Humber isn't new to this. Humber has actually been a leader in the post-secondary education of fundraisers for about 20 years. So this program has a really strong track record and has made a real difference when it comes to educating fundraisers both in the Greater Toronto area, but right across the country. Many of our alumni are in senior roles now and are maintaining involvement in the program. A couple of our alumni are actually back teaching in the program, which is very exciting. People are writing books who've taken our program on the fundraising profession. And Humber has really, I think, done a terrific job of being a leader in this area. So as I mentioned, the graduate program has taken the year off so that we could redesign the program. The program used to be 3 full semesters, and we realized that that the program would be better in a 2-semester format followed by work placement, and that we needed to update our curriculum with a few key features. So students entering the program in September will begin by taking an introduction course to fundraising, some communications courses. They'll take human resources and volunteer management, financial skills and charitable receipting. So you'll do a little bit of finance work, learn how to develop a budget, and learn how to receipt donations and what the Canadian Revenue Agency requires of charities in that regard. Students are also taking a computer applications and databases course where you get hands-on experience working with Razor's Edge, which is a industry-wide tool common to many charities. I think it's probably used by about 50% of the larger charities in Canada as a tool for managing data. So it's great hands-on experience, and that experience can be translated over to working in other database systems. Students also do a half course in law and ethics related to philanthropy and charitable giving, and do a half course in prospect research, which is really specialized research into potential funders and organizations that are granting money out. So you get some really specialized exposure. In the winter, students will then move into taking a series of courses that are more about the specific methods of how organizations raise funds. So you do an integrated marketing and campaigns course, and there will be a whole lot in that course that touches on use of technology to help raise funds, because so many organizations are running digital campaigns, doing digital events in this day and age, and because of COVID. Students will do an event management course. They'll take a course focused on major gifts and planned giving. They'll do a half course in grant writing, so writing applications and great proposals for funding. A half course on partnering with corporations. A half course on data analytics. A half course on operations, as well as an industry seminar, which is a pass-fail component of the program, where we'll be talking a lot more about career readiness, career opportunities, issues in the sector, that sort of thing. And during this time, students will also be working on a capstone project with 2 of our very well-seasoned faculty members. So you'll be working with an organization on a project, so a very practical project that will allow you to apply your skills and be mentored by 2 faculty members. At that point, students will be well equipped to do the work placement, which happens in the spring. 160 hours is kind of the minimum requirement to achieve that credential from Humber, but many of our students have received contracts and deliver their work placement as part of that, so they roll right into a part-time or a full-time job opportunity right as part of their kind of career placement. The fundraising postgraduate program has a really strong network within the professional community. And like I said, a lot of our relationships are here in the GTA, but we do have national profile as well, because we have so many alumni who've moved beyond Toronto. We have really great relationships with the Association of Fundraising Professionals, which is the professional association which operates on a global level. But we have the head of the Toronto Association on our program advisory committee. We have a wonderful relationship with the Canadian Association of Gift Planners, and in the gift planning course, there's actually quite a bit of material which the CAGP provides to us. We have a great relationship with the Canadian Council of Advancement Executives. So this is a group that works with educational organizations and their advancement or fundraising teams. And we have a really good relationship with Imagine Canada. So we're very well connected and dialed into the industry. I thought you would also be interested in knowing a little bit about the CFRE designation. So the CFRE designation is something that you can receive as a professional fundraiser once you have 3 to 5 years of hands-on experience working in charitable fundraising. The organization that runs CFRE will be reviewing all of our course outlines for next year over the coming months. And with their kind of seal of approval, our courses will be assigned a certain recognition by CFRE so that you can start earning education points towards your CFRE should you choose to go on to pursue a CFRE designation after you graduate. So you don't come out of our program with your CFRE, but you come out of our program hopefully with a head start on those education points that will help you achieve your CFRE designation if you decide to pursue that. So I just wanted to make sure that you were all aware that there is a designation and that we do have an affiliation, and we're working on that. I just want to comment as well that our program faculty are largely made up of people who are working within the field. So I mentioned that many of our faculty members have actually done the program. So, they may have completed the program, 10 years ago. They may have gone on and completed a master's program elsewhere, worked in the sector, and then they've actually come back and are teaching in the program. We also have some fantastic faculty who've been teaching in the program for quite a while. We'll also have some new instructors in the program next year who again are working in the field. So our courses are largely taught by part-time faculty, and then we have myself and a couple of others who teach in other areas of Humber as well. The majority of our instructors have graduate degrees or special qualifications and practical experience directly working in the field of fundraising. And as I mentioned, the majority of people are working in the field. So most of your professors will also be able to give you real hands-on experience, exposure, dial you into organizations that you might be interested in. Our program features many different guest speakers throughout the curriculum, so you've got the opportunity to learn from a variety of people who are really working in the industry. They bring their current real-world experience right into the classroom. So Madeline, who couldn't join us today, is kind of, she's one of our alum from last year, and she shared her story with us. And so I'm not going to read her story here to you, but I'll just tell you a little bit about her experience, and it kind of is quite similar to some of our other grads from last year. So, we were hit with this global pandemic in March timeframe, and students like Madeline were, working towards the end of the program, trying to line up their work placement. We were all nervous. We weren't totally sure what to expect. Students had to kind of pivot to not only online learning to complete the program, but they had to, continue to network to try to get those work placement opportunities. And Madeline was able to secure a work placement opportunity at University Health Network on the community giving team. So she was at Toronto General and Western Hospital, which is part of UHM, and she interned with them and was able to get a lot of experience through that. And I believe her internship was almost completely done virtually. She was contributing to the team, connecting with the team through Zoom, through Microsoft Teams, and she was able to integrate and make a contribution. Unfortunately, Toronto General and Western Hospital Foundation wasn't able to hire her straight away, but she was able to make a connection at the Humber River Hospital Foundation following her work placement, and that turned into a full-time job. So she's now the senior coordinator of donor engagement at Humber River Hospital Foundation, and I believe it's a full-time role, and I know that the majority of her classmates from last year were able to land jobs, and that's really important, especially during these times. I'll just comment that, you know, we were quite worried last March about work placement and would places still have the capacity to host students through their placement. And although there was a little bit of a delay, I think, well, organizations recalibrated. At the end of May, we had 100% of our students fully employed for their work placement. So we were quite happy. I know that there are other programs at Humber where students did other projects in lieu of work placement. We were quite fortunate that that 100% of our students were able to find roles, because there are so many organizations out there who needed to ramp up their fundraising activity. They needed to help respond to the community need that was out there. So while some organizations have been hit hard, particularly in the arts and culture area, organizations like healthcare and social services have actually seen an upswing in terms of people wanting to help, people wanting to volunteer, people wanting to give, people wanting to get involved to help people through this really difficult time. So Madeline is just one example of many, and the kind of journey that you might go on after taking the program. I've mentioned that we have really great relationships with organizations, and you know, this just really lists a few. This is not a complete list of places where students have done work placements in the past or where alumni are working now. And so, you know, again, careers have ranged from organizations such as Amnesty International, Breakfast for Learning, CAMH here in Toronto, right through to a number of organizations who are consultants to the charitable sector. So you'll see here organizations like Grass Riots and HJC New Media, Stephen Thomas. Those organizations are consulting firms that work with charities to support their fundraising. And many of our alumni have found careers in those organizations. So it's a wide range. You know, again, we've got the U of T's, the hospitals, the big charities, the smaller charities. Our alumni are working in all sorts of really cool organizations. I wanted to just say a few words about where the program takes place. So in a typical year, our program is at our Lakeshore campus, which is a beautiful campus. It's right on the lakeshore, and if you live in the GTA, in the Greater Toronto area, you might be familiar with it. We're right on the waterfront. It's a beautiful place to go to school, to go to work and study. Right now, we are exclusively online, and so word is that this program will run online in the fall. So of course, we'll take it as it comes over the next little while, but I suspect for the fall semester we will be online. All of our professors are getting ready to prepare and deliver their courses through Blackboard. And then in the winter, we're not sure yet. It will obviously depend on where things are at and what's safe, and we'll know more when the time comes. But there's a chance, and you know, I really hope that we're going to get back to some presence at the beautiful Lakeshore campus. I also wanted to make sure that everybody was aware that our program has some designated scholarships and funding affiliated with it. So there are two types of funding opportunities. One, we've got two brand new scholarships, which will be provided to incoming students, as well as a third incoming entrance scholarship. So this information here is a little bit out of date. There will actually be three scholarships for students coming into the program. And what we'll do is communicate to everybody who's been accepted to the program in May with the ways to apply for those scholarship opportunities. The hope is that we'll be able to get decisions made and have those scholarships awarded to students well in advance of starting the program. So there's two awards for $2,500, and then there's also a third opportunity for about $1,000, I believe, which will be provided to students for a tuition credit. In addition to those, there are a minimum of 3 awards which are provided to students who are in the program in the second term of study. And those are based on performance within the program as well as need. So there's a lot more information about scholarships and funding. If you want more information, you can email me and I'll share that with you. Otherwise, anyone who's accepted to the program will receive some more information about how to apply to these scholarships in May. And here's my contact information. As I mentioned, you can email me if you want to talk one-on-one. You can also check me out on LinkedIn if you're interested in knowing more about my background and my experience. But feel free to send me an email at samantha.jones@humber.ca if you have any questions. And now I'm going to pass it over to Alicia to give you more information about the nuts and bolts of how to apply.
Thank you, Samantha, for that great information. My name is Alicia Peraverson, and I am the admissions officer for the Faculty of Business programs that are offered out of the Lakeshore campus, which includes the Fundraising Management postgraduate program. So for the applicants or the people that have not applied yet, the application must be submitted through Ontario colleges, and this is for domestic students. If there is anyone that's international, they would apply directly to our international office. And the domestic application website is www.ontariocolleges.ca. There is an application fee of $95, which is payable to Ontario colleges, not to Humber. The next intake for the fundraising management program is fall 2021. It only has one intake, and the program code is FR511. All transcript must be requested and submitted by Ontario colleges. If domestic applicants have been educated outside of Canada, there is a requirement that the transcript of the undergraduate program must be evaluated by WES or ICAS. And also there's an English language proficiency requirement that all applicants must meet. The admissions requirements are a bachelor's degree, an advanced diploma, or a diploma, plus English language proficiency. My admissions contact is Alicia Peraverson. Alicia.peraverson@humber.ca. Just some resources that some students might need. We have our own financial aid office, and you can contact them at finaid@humber.ca. That's the link for the website. There is some internal bursary information as well, and then also OSAP. You don't have to be admitted to the program to apply to OSAP. As long as you apply and you're planning to attend, you can start your application. For fall 2021, I believe it would open in May, towards the middle of May. Risha, over to you.
Perfect. Thank you. So I don't have too many next steps. I just want to reiterate what Alicia said. If you haven't already, please apply. Apply as soon as possible. And if you've already applied, please be sure to confirm your offer. So you can do so by logging into your My Humber account. Alicia, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, something I forgot to mention, our classes are actually very small for this program. Each intake, we bring 35 students. So it's very interactive, right? And maybe Samantha wants to add something to it, but the most that we accept is 35 students. So anyone that hasn't applied, I recommend to apply as soon as possible. And it's also a full-time program.
Yeah, I can add a bit to that. We are a smaller program. It's an intimate class. And I will say, when you're doing a postgraduate program at Humber, you join a class in September and you're together as a group until the program is done. And I think that we really try, both at the faculty level and also at the student level, to create a program that's going to be that you're really just a part of. You're really involved in. You get to know people in the community. I forgot to mention that typically our students go to conferences that are held by the Association of Fundraising Professionals. Now this year, I know that the conference that we usually go to physically will be going to online in November. So you really get immersed in the industry. And I feel like when people come in at the beginning of September, you know, they've kind of joined the profession already. Like, just by joining the program, you've joined the profession. You become a part of that community very quickly. The other thing I want to flag, because I noticed it today on the website at Humber, when you look at the fundraising program webpage, there is a tuition page, and it has previous year's tuition. And our tuition is actually going to go down a little bit because the program is shorter. So I just wanted to flag it for you all, because there will be savings as well with this program, because we are doing it in 2 semesters versus the 3 full semesters going forward. So tuition is going to be a little bit less expensive, I believe. And Alicia, you might know a little more than I do on that front.
Yes, so the tuition should be less, right? Because we reduced the number of semesters, right? But however, don't quote me on it. What I could mention is that the fees should be, we receive the fees from the ministry, what we are allowed to charge for a program, and that should be available next month. It usually, we get the new fees for each intake after the provincial budget comes out.
Right, and that's coming out, or has it? I don't think it's come out as yet. Right, I don't think it's come out as yet.
I don't believe so, but I could be. I'm trying to avoid the news a little bit, so I might be behind, okay, with all the COVID stuff. I'm trying to be more positive with news. So.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so Lillian has a question here. So the program is not offered part-time, evenings, online, 100%. I work full-time.
Yeah, the program it's only offered full-time currently. So if you're working full-time, it would be very difficult to be in the program at the same time. There's a little bit more flexibility, I think, next year with the program being online in the fall, but working full-time 9 to 5 Monday to Friday really would be a challenge with this program. I'm happy to chat with you a little bit more about the flexibility we have within the program, as well as other programs that I'm familiar with that might be more suitable and help you to complete fundraising education while working full-time.
Okay, perfect. And can you give us give an idea of what the workload is going to be like? Like, so how many hours in class, and then how many hours are expected out of class?
I think that there's probably around 20 to 25 hours in class. The thing, Madeline addressed this really well because she did an undergraduate bachelor's degree prior than doing the postgraduate certificate. And I think the difference between a program like this and an undergraduate bachelor's degree is that there's a lot of reading and prep, but we also try to have a lot of the assignments and group work done in class as well. So, well, there are probably more hours in class. There's also a lot of interactive work that's being done in class. So it is a fairly intensive program, and it is quite a bit of work. Most of our students in the past also would have part-time jobs at the same time, so that's completely realistic to do while you're doing the program, but it is a full-time commitment, and the workload can be heavy at times because there is a lot of group engagement, and that's a really important part of the program, getting to collaborate with different students, with people who might have different work styles than you, because that really gets you ready for working in the organizational world. So sometimes it can be very intensive.
Okay, perfect. Lillian, you have your hand up. Did you have a question? You can turn on your microphone if you like. Okay, maybe that was by accident.
I can answer this question.
Sure.
About the course schedule. Yes, it looks like a lot of courses each term, but some of them are half courses. So what it works out to being is in the fall, it works out to being 6 courses full-time in total. So you'll be doing 6 courses, and then a couple of them will break into different courses halfway through the term. So it's the equivalent of doing 6 full-time courses in the fall, and in the winter it's 7 courses. But one of those 7 is a pass-fail seminar course. So again, it's intense, but a lot of the work is being done in class and in the program. But it's the equivalent of 6 full-time in the fall and 7 full-time in the winter. And 3 hours a piece, so I guess 6 times 3, so 18 hours of in-class time in the fall and 21 hours in the winter.
A week.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Also, a copy of the presentation. Jenny, if you can help me post the link to the transfer page with the recorded sessions. I'll be updating the session there either today or tomorrow. There's a past session that's already uploaded there. I think I might upload this one there instead. But a previous session, the first session that we actually did, is already on that recorded sessions page. But I can add this one as well. So a few questions here. Samantha, what are some misconceptions that students come in to the program with?
Well, one misconception I think is just the fact it's called fundraising management. We have had, I don't think anyone's been in the program, but I have heard a lot of queries or people contact me who are thinking that it's fundraising for businesses or trying to get investors. And this is very much geared for students who are interested in learning fundraising, the profession of raising funds for charitable organizations. So this isn't about getting investments for startups and things like that, unless of course those startups are charitable enterprises or social enterprises. The other, I think, one of the big misconceptions is that working in fundraising and working in the sector means you're not going to get paid, and we really are an important profession within the sector, and there's more and more recognition of the skill set that people need to have in order to do this successfully. There's also, I think, more of an accountability for organizations to operate in a more transparent way, an ethical way, and so they're putting more money into their fundraising processes. So you can build a career in this profession. It is not for volunteers, and it can be for volunteers. Volunteers are vital and really important, but we also need professional fundraisers to work in tandem with volunteers. So again, you can build a really interesting profession. And I'll just comment on that a little bit more to say, you can become a fundraiser, and you can also work your way up within the foundations and within organizations. So more and more we're seeing people who understand fundraising become executive directors or become CEOs of foundations and of organizations that operate in this sector, because it's such an important part of working and being in this sector.
Perfect. Alicia, how soon, if we have some of those who haven't applied this yet, how soon should they apply? And usually how late can they apply, if that makes sense?
So the program remains open until we fill the seats, right? But I recommend students, if they're interested, to apply as soon as possible so they can get their transcript to me, they can get the offer accepted, pay the deposit, arrange for how to pay the tuition, make arrangements, apply for OSAP, right? So a lot of stuff comes into play, right? So you want to be prepared for that, right? And that you are ready. Also, if you apply earlier, then you also know and you have a time to decide. Right now, if anyone that gets an offer this week has until May 2nd to accept the offer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess because it's a small group that we bring in, the sooner you apply, the better it is, right?
So because it's a small group, less seats, right? So therefore, sometimes a little bit more competitive.
Correct, right? It's not like that. Some other programs, we might have like 90 seats, right? Which it would take a bit longer to fill up, but with 35 seats, it's a very small class.
Yeah. Kate has a question. Are students and a great question, by the way. Are students responsible for finding their own internships, or does Humber have leads or co-op style connections? Thank you.
Yeah, so this is Samantha answering your question, Kate. Really good question. I'm going to say there's sort of three methods for students to secure their work placement. We have a work integrated learning contact in the business school who will deliver a variety of presentations to students and help you prepare for applying to and finding those opportunities. And there are several opportunities that come in through that center, which will then get shared with the class to apply to. Then secondly, because this program has such a strong network, many opportunities come in through me and through the other faculty, and we make those available to students as well. And then on the third level, we've had many students who are really great at networking, and throughout the program, they make their own connections with organizations that they want to work with, so they find their own. So those are kind of the three common ways I've seen students find their work placements. I'll just say, I think students are really focused on this early on, and it's stressful, right? You're not sure, is this work placement going to come through? What I've seen the last couple of years in our program are that we've had more opportunities than we've had students. So we actually have more work opportunities available for students to apply to. And I believe that's a bit unique to our program. It's not the case in all of the programs at Humber. So our students have been very fortunate to find those work placements, and hopefully to find a work placement that you're really excited about, which makes it even better.
Sorry, I had my thank you, Jenny. I was on speaker. Sorry, I was muted. So sometimes we get the question, and this is not Kate's question, but sometimes we get the question, is Humber going to place us in a placement, right? Are they going to say, well, you're going to this company, you're going to this company, you're going to this company? That is not how it works, is it, Samantha?
No, no. The students apply for placement on their own. And some of those placement opportunities have actually, as I said before, they've been jobs or they've been a part-time contract, which has exceeded the kind of requirement for the work placement. So that's great. There's some paperwork that we have in place that is required for you and the employer to sign off on, so you can get your hours. So no, we don't sign you up with particular firms. If a student is really struggling to find a placement, we can work with them more closely to help navigate that. As I mentioned, the last 2 years, it hasn't been an issue. We've been able to find something that students have been excited about, that has also met the requirement from Humber.
And it's a skill, like job hunting, finding a job is a skill. And it's a skill that you want to practice, a skill that you want to build. And that's sort of what you get from not just this program, but all programs where there are placements. And the point of the placement is to actually sort of get you in that mode, give you ideas on how to find jobs, how to network, et cetera, so that once you're out of the program, maybe you get a program right out of the gate and from your placement, but in the future, it sort of builds on those skills and interviewing skills, et cetera, so you have those going out into the workforce. Alicia, you wanted to add something?
I just wanted to add to what Samantha said. So the Faculty of Business does have a placement office, and each program has an advisor, and there is an advisor for fundraising management. But having said that, they can provide you resources, they can help you with stuff, however, they would not give you the employer, all right? So just to make clear, but there is a placement office that works with students in the program to sort of aid them, right? And finding, having the correct resources, and they work alongside with Samantha in this case for the program coordinator.
Okay, great. So I'm going to ask Jenny a question, and Jenny, and this question is related to transfer credits, because sometimes we do get this question. Are students able to transfer credits into grad certificate programs?
Hi, everybody. Risha, that's actually a great question. So yes, the answer is yes, students are able to transfer credits into post-grad programs. However, you can only transfer credits from one post-grad to another post-grad or at a master's level or higher. So unfortunately, we don't accept transfer credits from diploma programs or degree programs for postgraduate certificates. It has to come from a postgrad or a master's program or higher.
Perfect. So fees for the course, so Samantha mentioned this during the presentation. The fees from last time the program was running is on the website currently. However, until the government is the one that mandates what the fees are going to be, until they have their budget session, which I can't remember when it was asked, when they're going to be presenting the budget, we would not know what the fees for this year is going to be. However, it should be lower, hopefully lower than what it is on the website currently. Okay, so we're almost out of time. Does anyone have any other questions before we wrap things up? Okay, so Alicia says the new fees will be posted mid-May. Any other questions before we wrap things up? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask Alicia and Samantha to provide some closing words.
I'm just saying thank you for everybody that attended the session, right? I read there were some people joining us from Burlington, Scarborough, Hamilton, even there's an individual from India, which is midnight. So I hope he or she can go now to sleep, right? Thanks everyone for attending. Enjoy the rest of the day and have a great summer. Take care of yourself.
Perfect. Samantha?
Yep, same here. I'll just say thank you all for coming. And just once again, if you want more information, feel free to reach out, samantha.jones@humber.ca. I'm more than happy to answer any questions about the program and about jobs in the industry, that kind of thing. I hope everybody has a great rest of the day.
Perfect. Perfect. And yeah, so again, I'll reiterate, thank you so much to everyone that was here. And again, this will be recorded. It will be posted. I think I will post this one to the website, because I think this is our third session, and I think it's only gotten better since we've actually been doing this. So I'll be posting that